During a busy week, this is how I like to sketch. Whenever I have a small pocket of time, I find a spot to plant myself, pick up my A5 sketchbook, and just do some sketching all on my own. Since I like comics, I like sketching in these small comic panels. What do I draw? I kinda like that big tree there, so I'm gonna sketch this scene. I like drawing small because it allows me to draw quicker. I'm also using a broad pen. A broad pen fills up a page quicker, and with less space to work with, it forces me to simplify my details. To make sketching a lot more hassle-free, I sometimes just stick to pen and paper. It's a lot less things to bring out. And these days, I like a wetter pen because I can do this. Smudge the ink while it's still wet. It does the job of a mid-tone wash without needing a brush. Fountain pens should be able to do this too. And one sketch done. This took about 10 minutes and I'm rather glad I did this. It makes me feel so much more relaxed before I start work. For me, a good time to sketch is during meal times, either before a meal or after. Should I draw my food? Nah, I'm hungry. I'll draw the coffee shop. After lunch, I might have about maybe 10 to 15 minutes before I need to drive off to pick up my daughter from school. So you might be wondering, isn't a coffee shop a bit too ambitious to draw? Why not draw a cup of coffee instead, since I'm pressed for time? Well, I'm using the contour drawing approach, and it makes any scene, even complicated scenes, a lot simpler and even enjoyable to draw. Well, that's what I find for myself. What is contour drawing? In my own words, I'd say it's about seeing everything as 2D silhouette shapes and noting those 2D shapes down on paper. I cover it in more detail in my link above. I find it a lot more fun than the technical approach, where I see things as 3D objects instead. I find the contour drawing method a lot quicker. However, the result for me is often a more looser style drawing, but that suits me fine. I do like a looser, more relaxed style of drawing, since I'm actually drawing to relax in between work. So this took about 7 to 10 minutes, and it's 2/3 of the page done. Another pocket of time that I like to use to sketch is when I'm parked outside my daughter's school and waiting for her to come to the car. One problem I have, I've drawn this view so many times before, but the construction site on my right, that's new, so I'm gonna draw that. Looks like I have about 10 minutes to complete this. The advantage of drawing in the car is that there's privacy, and I have a place to sit, except that it can be rather stuffy. So you might be asking, why not just take a picture and then draw from the phone later? Well, there's something about capturing a scene in the moment. When I'm sketching the scene right now and from direct observation, in a way I'm bringing everything I'm experiencing now into the picture. Because how I feel, the heat, the stuffiness, the limitation of time, the angle I have to draw with sitting in the driver's seat, all contribute to how I draw this scene. So for me, this sketch actually will become a more complete record of this moment where I'm sitting in the car, watching a construction site waiting for my daughter to come to the car. And so this sketch becomes more meaningful to me. Also, drawing with all the discomfort is probably also helping me complete the sketch quicker. And there we go, one whole page of sketches during pockets of time, all in half a day.
Hello.
Other ways I've done this format of sketching. If I want to do it at a more relaxed pace, I might do the panels and slowly fill up a page over a few days, instead of all in one day. I'd keep it to a pace that is relaxing and fun. If I have more time on my hands, I might do all the panels and fill up a whole page all in one sitting. For this page, I was sitting at a yogurt cafe with my daughter and my wife. I just looked around me and drew the different things that I saw. I drew my daughter with a yogurt, a design on the wall, the shop counter, a strange fortune cat with a giant arm on the counter, and my wife. So in this one, everything was from the same location. And this is another one where it's from the same location but just different views. I think this was a little girl at the next table, my tea, a DVD I just borrowed from the library, the people around me, a lamp on the ceiling, my friend sitting across from me, and I think this was my shoe just looking down. And here is how I make a page look more interesting to look at. Similar to comics, I try to put in a nice mix of wide shots, mid shots, and close-ups. Well, actually this is a better example of a wide shot. More pulled back, it gives a clearer picture of what the place looks like. I don't always manage to have the full mix of shots in, but as you can see, some variation in the shots does make the page look more interesting. And if you notice, I often put in some text into my sketches. The date, the time, the place, or any other information that gives more context to the sketch. Especially information that isn't clearly evident from the pictures. Doing this, I find that my sketches deliver a lot more information when I'm looking back on them years later, and therefore they become more meaningful and valuable to me. So this is how I sketch when I want to sketch during a busy week. Of course, if I had more time, like doing an urban sketching event, I would do a bigger sketch like this. But when I want to do a quick sketch, this kind of format works better for me. So I hope this encourages you to sketch more, and thanks for watching.